Oh, you look cute. Hey,
Hey.
you be my girlfriend?
Yeah.
If I saw you out, I would be like, fuck me up, man.
Would you?
Oh, yeah. Let's just pretend, okay?
Okay.
Let's play a scenario. So if I was, okay, where would we probably have met each other? Probably at a bar.
Probably.
Probably at a bar. So, like, let's make something romantic. So I'm at the grocery store, and the boys are in the cart, and they're yelling and screaming, and I'm pushing the cart, and there you are.
And I'm walking down the grocery aisle.
What aisle are we in?
I don't know.
The fucking bread aisle.
The bread aisle. Why?
Just because we're in the bread aisle. Because we both definitely buy bread. And because it's kind of cute, like we met in the bread aisle.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be a good story.
So you're
Met her in the
grabbing a
bread aisle, and it was over after that. She was standing by the muffins. Blueberry muffins.
Oh,
Sam.
yes, the muffins. And so, okay, pretend. So I'm in the aisle. Okay, so you say how it would have gone down, and then I'll say how I think it would have gone down. So I'm in the aisle. I look over, and the boys are yelling in the cart, by the way. The boys are with me. And you look at me, and then what happens?
You just look at me and stop and just like smile really big, and I'm like, what the fuck? She's probably a lesbian. Maybe, I don't know.
So who would have talked to who first?
You probably would have been like, hi. And you would have been like, oh, sorry, the boys are being crazy today. It's just a wild day. You probably would have like,
This is what I would have done. Okay, ready? So I would have seen her and be like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Just, your eyes are honestly so pretty. And sorry, my boys are screaming, but do you want to go fuck?
that is not Aaron. Oh my God.
JK. What I probably would have done, okay, so I would have seen you, I would have cut eyes at you.
And
at first, and you would have given me that look back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then at first, I wouldn't have talked to you, and then it would start eating at me.
I probably would have just like slowed down and been like, okay, muffins. I need these. And then you would have been like, awkwardly, probably like,
I don't
"Hey."
get awkward. I would have just
No,
been like,
not awkwardly, but you would have like said something.
I spit
Random.
some fucking game, man. I would have spit some game is what I would have done. I would have been like, you're probably the prettiest girl I've ever seen. So, okay, so let's scratch that scenario and let's talk about reality, okay? So, I'm going to tell you about how me and Micah met because it's a crazy story. Have we
Okay.
ever talked about this on the vlog? Like the real ass story?
I don't think we have actually.
Like, you want to tell the whole truth? I do.
Yeah, let's do it. Hold on a second though.
She's getting nervous. That kind of made it dark. You like it more?
It was like right on my face.
Okay, so
Scoot up a little bit.
question number 1. How did me and Micah meet? So I'll kind of tell the story and then you can interject. And I'll try to be respectful of like those things that we're talking about.
Respectful, what things?
Okay, so so I had gone through a divorce and I had my first girlfriend and she and I dated for on and off for like 7 months, I don't know, on and off. And our relationship was like super fucking toxic, man. Like she was pretty abusive, like mainly verbally and emotionally, but there was times that she got physical. Like I had to call the police on her once. And I don't even want to go into that story. And then Micah was in a relationship with a girl.
I wasn't in a relationship. It was just a toxic situation, basically, because I wanted, I was not dating her, like, officially, but we were hanging out, and she didn't want to make it official, and I wanted to, and it was just, like, a horrible cycle.
Yeah, and she,
It was
like,
bad.
didn't see the value in Micah, which is, like, the craziest thing to me, because she's not the cutest thing. I mean, I'm sorry, but, like, you're way out of her leagues looks-wise. And way out of her leagues. I don't even know how to speak. You're way out of her league. I mean, I'm not saying that in a mean way. I just mean, like, it blows my mind that she didn't see, like, the value of, like, wow, this girl likes me. I'm really lucky that a girl that looks like this likes me because I'm on a level 2 and she's, like, a 10 or 11. Now, I mean...
And I didn't know, like...
You didn't know your value.
I wasn't a super confident...
She didn't know her value
I was, but I didn't know my true
No, you
value.
didn't. When I met you, you were so beat down.
Yeah.
She lived, like, okay, so that's kind of our, like, story. So we had these girlfriends. We were both in really toxic situations. Well, me and my girlfriend broke up, and when you're, like, a new lesbian or whatever you want to call it, like, it's really hard to, like, find when you look like me or even Micah. Like, if you don't have your hat on, no one, like, you don't look, I guess you kind of act pretty gay, though, yeah.
Yeah,
it's just hard to find girls. Like, it's just hard. Like, you don't just go places in the bread aisle and like, oh, let's have a lesbian encounter. Like, so we were both on Tinder.
Yeah, shamefully, we admit that.
We're not shameful.
Well, yeah, it's
Tinder's badass, man. Fuck it. So I super swiped you for sure.
You did?
Oh fuck yeah! I gave you.
Maybe.
I super swiped the shit out of you. And I have only super swiped like, not hardly ever. Never did that. So that's really fucking romantic. So, oh my god. So I meet Micah on Tinder, and like I had seen all these
I
girls.
messaged her first though.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Well, I never would message people. I would just put the super swipe out and wait for you to.
But you were waiting. You were hoping.
So when I saw her, this sounds really fucking creepy. And it sounds like a little bit hopeless romantic. But when I saw her pictures on Tinder, I like immediately was like, I have to have this girl. Like, I fucking have to meet her. I have to. So I added her on Instagram because like it was linked to her Tinder. And I creeped her. And her Instagram was weak as fuck. Like, she had like all these quotes and like it was like all these blurry pictures, but like behind the blurry pictures, like I was like, oh my god, this girl is fucking beautiful. And I could like, do you ever have that thing where you can like see in somebody's eyes, like that they're a good person? Mm-hmm. Like I remember there was this video of her on the lake, and she was like with her friends, and she's on the lake, and she has like her camera up, and it's like her hair is blowing, and she's smiling, and I watched that video over and over. I'm creepy as fuck.
It had a lot of views.
It had a lot of views.
Most of it was her.
Me.
She put like 500 views on that video.
I just could see like that you were like so good. Like I could just see it. And so me and my girlfriend were broken up for the millionth time at the time. Her and her, whatever you want to call it.
We weren't broken up. We were just
I don't know.
toxic,
We started,
whatever.
me and you started talking in about January of last year. So that would have been a year and 4 months ago, a year and 3 months ago-ish. And we would text a lot, and then we'd kind of stop, and then we would text a lot, and then I'd send her all these, like, I'd get drunk and send her these really crazy ass videos.
Yeah.
Like, where she was like, this bitch is crazy. Like, I would be like wild now, and like I would just get drunk and send her all of them.
And I was just like, man, she's wild. I didn't know about it.
So it's funny, but
It is funny. Now that looking back and like knowing her, I just realized like she was just, that's just how you are.
That's
You're
just
just
how I
wild
am.
and crazy. She's always saying something funny or doing
inappropriate.
something crazy. Yeah.
But the thing that made it kind of not as weird is whenever we like figured out like that we met, like thought we each other were pretty, and we started texting, we like I saw that her mutual friend was. So I have a best friend couple, Sean and Eric, and they're like a gay couple. They've been together for like 3 or 4 years. And she was in scrub school with Eric. And so she knew Eric really well. So when I found her, I went to one of my best friends and I was like, who is this girl? And he was like, oh my God, you would die if you saw her in person. She's the most beautiful person. He just talked about you like, oh, and I was like, gosh, freaking damn it.
Aw, Eric, he pumped me up.
He did. And then, much to my dismay, we hung out. So we finally hung out like 4.
What did you just make?
I'm going to go to the story. We finally hung out, and I was so nervous. And I was a travel nurse and about 45 minutes outside of where I lived. And me and my girlfriend...
Which was the town that I was living in currently.
And me and my girlfriend had just broken up, and so we decided to hang out. But me and my ex-girlfriend were like on and off so much. It was like we probably would get together the next day. But I was like, I want to meet Micah. Like I knew I wanted to meet her. So she had a really bad day with this girl that she was seeing.
Yeah, I had like gotten wasted trash like 2 nights before that, and I was like crying. It was
and I would like she would text me about that girl, and I like the only way I could get Micah to talk to me a lot is if I was like, oh, tell me about your feelings and all that stuff, because I just wanted to talk to you. And so she would like send me songs about like her heartbreak songs.
Stop.
She would, and I would
didn't
like
do that.
Yeah,
No, I didn't.
you did. So me and Micah went on our first date, and she came to my hotel. And it was like, it sounds creepy, but it was a really nice Hilton hotel, and it had like a living room and stuff, and we hung out in the living room and we talked for a long time.
Yeah, like when we first met and started talking, like I had told her, I was like, I'm super awkward because I think of myself as super awkward, but when I went into the hotel room, we like started talking, she poured me a glass of wine, and this is funny because I didn't like red wine. And she poured me a glass of red wine and I drank it. And I remember being like, it was like the hardest thing because I hate it. I didn't like red wine yet. I do now. But we just started talking and we talked and talked and talked. And the conversation was like never awkward or weird. We just, like the conversation just kept going. Like.
And then you were like, let's go. My friend works at a bar like down the road. Let's go up there. It's called Roosters. And so we went and had drinks. And our first kiss happened then because some drunk guy at the bar was like, are y'all together? And we're like awkwardly like, no, I don't know what to say, because you don't want to say no because that's rude. But you don't want to say yes because it's like creepy. I would have been like, yeah, we're together. Like, what, you remembered that part? I didn't.
Yeah, I barely remember it, but he was like, you know, hitting on you, typical, and it was like, oh, if y'all are together, then kiss her or something, and me and her like looked at each other,
And
and
you
it
were
was
like,
and we kissed. I think it was more than a peg.
no, we did like one of these. It was not tongue, but it was like.
Just like a good lip kiss.
And then, so this is the best part. So since we both had psycho significant others that we were broken up with, ish.
Yeah, that girl
She
knew that
blew. She found out that Micah was with me, and she put two and two together. She started blowing her phone up.
Yeah, she was like calling me.
It was 8 times.
It was like
I counted.
It was 13, I think.
Okay, it was 13.
It was a lot of phone calls.
My significant other,
Whatever
bitch,
she was.
whatever you want to call it, the one that was horrible, she would like psycho message me, and then she was calling me, so I just turned my phone on airplane mode and ignored it. Like I didn't even care. Like I was all about Micah, and I could start telling Micah was getting real bothered by that girl calling her because Micah was real attached to her for some reason.
Oh my god.
I wasn't her. She's just the type of person that if she has a person, she's like.
I'm like a one person. That's why I'm not like a cheater. Or anything like
it's
that.
like hard for her to like detach from somebody, and she was like in the process. But the girl kept calling her, so I like wanted Micah to come like stay the night with me, and like I don't know, you know. And so we go in the car, and the girl keeps calling over and over and over, and I could just see Micah getting like trying to act like everything was good and getting really upset. And she's like, okay, and drops me off. She's like, okay, well, it was so fun hanging out. Like, I'll just see you later. And I was like,
You're like,
I was
she was like,
bit drunk.
She was like, I'm not fucking stupid. I know exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna go hang out with her.
No, I was like, you're going to go see your ex-girlfriend, and she's mad at you, and you're going to go fuck her. So if you want to do that, have fun, never talk to you again.
And I was
totally
like,
said that.
And I was like,
because it was shitty. It was. Because you
was.
couldn't, like, I had never had somebody just completely, like, put somebody in front of me. And I was like, oh, fuck no.
She couldn't handle it.
No. And so
So she said that, and I was like.
And I just kind of looked there, I'm like, okay.
Like,
and I acted like I didn't care that much. I was just like, if you want to do that, then I know where you're going. I'm not stupid.
And I was like, no, I'm not. And, like, I knew that I was. But I was like, okay, this girl is fucking awesome. I didn't know you yet. So I was skeptical, but you were awesome. So I was like, I can't fuck this up. So I went.
So we shacked up the first night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I wake up and my ex that had been on and off with me and I like could not get away from her for some reason texted me and was like, "Were you with Micah?" And I was like, what am I gonna say here? And I was like, actually, I was. I had the best night I have had in forever, and I never want to ever fucking talk to you again. Hung up the phone, and I never talked to her again. Ever.
Wow.
Ever.
That's crazy.
I met you, and I was done with her. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Never talked to her again. Like, period. Ever.
I know. It's crazy.
So, Micah did go, so we, like, started texting. Our story is, like, not perfect, but I think that's
yeah,
what,
nobody's story is, though, so, like...
I think that's what makes, like, it's hard for me sometimes because, like, I, like, want to feel like, oh, I was the one, like, the moment you met me, but it's, like, sometimes it's not reality. Like, I was like that about you, but I had never been like that about anybody before.
Right.
And we texted and like talked for a couple weeks and there was one day I could tell like she was kind of being weird. And
Yeah,
I had my guard up big time.
Yeah, I remember that day. She was like, I can tell you're acting different and I can't handle this. Like, I'm not here for this. And I was like,
this is not what I'm wanting.
This is not what I'm wanting. And I was just like, I think she was wanting me to respond with like, no, this, like, I do want, to be with you or whatever. And instead I was just like kind of fucked up in the head over that girl. Should we tell the whole story?
Yeah, I think we should tell the whole story.
And I had met the girl and hung out with her.
And that day, like
that day, it was weird because I was
tell.
actually leaving that girl's house when she texted me that. And
I will say we were not official.
We weren't official. Like,
we
she
were
wasn't
just,
my girlfriend yet.
Like, she didn't cheat on me. We were just talking. It still hurts.
But it still hurts because we had all these, like, good conversations and had talked about a lot of things. We weren't official, but
we were, like, heading in that direction.
Yeah, and so I hung out with this girl, and Aaron texted me.
She fucked her.
Aaron texted me as I was literally walking through the parking lot, leaving that girl's house, and I was like, I wasn't even gonna be with that girl at like that point. Like, literally, I went to meet her, and I was like, after I left her house, I was like, I hate that girl. Like, I literally fucking hate her because we got into a fight, but I was just so mentally like not where I needed to be, like to be with somebody
she
new.
Was really
when she
down.
texted me that, I was just like, I know, you're right, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and I just was just like, okay, like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't remember exactly what I said. So we like didn't talk for a week, and I was getting over that girl. It wasn't even like I wasn't hanging out with her or anything. I was just like trying to like get over her, and got super fucking hammered. I had to be like carried out of my friend's house pretty much by my roommate.
And
like,
we weren't talking at this
and we
point.
weren't talking, and I was just like, I was in a mess. And so like a week later, I started feeling
keep in
better.
mind, I'm the travel nurse now in her town.
Yeah, and she's like traveling to my town,
It's really close to mine, but you have to be out 50 miles outside of your town to get a travel contract, and it was the closest hospital. And so, and so I was still traveling to her town and knowing I was in her town, and I was lovesick over Micah like that quick. Like, I cried a lot. I had a lot. Like, I was so sad because I knew, like, there was something about her. Like, I couldn't pinpoint it, but, like, I knew. And I was, like, fucking heartbroken.
So
I was.
She, like, sends me this message.
A Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat, because she was the first one to talk to me after that little
It'd
thing
been, like,
happened.
It'd been about a week.
It was a week.
Maybe it was a Sunday that I messaged you.
Yeah, I remember. So she sends me a Snapchat, and it's, like, she's sitting there in her scrubs, and she's, like, at the nurse's station or wherever, and she's like got her hand like this, and she's looking off, and she has like the saddest look on her face ever.
My eyes looked
like she literally looked like she had
find
been crying. Like, she was just like this, and she sent me a snap, and she was like, I still can't believe that you
played me.
I still can't believe that you played me. And I was like, it was like the perfect timing for her to send that message, and I just like started talking to her, and we talked about it, and then
She basically was
point,
like, I'm really sorry, I want to see you.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I wanted to see her.
And I was texting Eric and Sean, and I was like, I'm not letting this girl do this to me. Like, I was trying to be a bad bitch. I was trying to play her back, and I just wanted to see her so bad.
So yeah.
So of course, like, I'm like, so we start texting, and I like told her like, how she like really hurt me and you know, and that I was not down for that, and we started hanging out.
And then from that point, it was like game over. Like nothing ever happened after that. I was like with her, talking to her, never saw anybody else, texted anybody else, like nothing. Like I was 100% Aaron from that point on.
We had this moment, like we hung out, and it was like our connection was like,
Baby.
it was like really good. Like our connection was like
deep.
yeah, it felt like my soul, like, I don't want to cry, I messed my makeup up. It felt like my soul, like I knew so early on that like she was somebody so different. Like our souls were just like,
I know, baby. We totally we're like soulmates. Like we found our soulmate. Like we found
when we connected, it was like, it fucked me up, man. Like I could not.
It was like we were just what each other needed so freaking bad. Like she was exactly what I needed. Like my heart was just like broken into pieces. Her heart was like broken into pieces, and we were just the big messes is what we were. And hurting, and like we just like came together and like pretty much like healed each other's hearts. Like that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, we did. Like I had a lot of depression, and I had like, and I hate even admitting it, but like I had been suicidal. Like I had gone through some really horrible shit after my divorce, and like with that girl that I was with, like I was so like beaten down, and like I needed, like, you don't want to ever depend on somebody, but I like needed somebody. Like I needed like somebody, and like I feel like Micah just like came exactly, like it was God. Like I feel like it was like she came like right whenever I needed somebody to, like I couldn't help myself at that point. Like I was so beaten down, and it's just like, oh, my makeup is so bad. Help me.
Maybe it's okay. Oh no.
Oh no. And it was just like the rest was just
Keep your hair right.
history. And so that was that was April that we like fell in love. Like we told each other we loved each other like, what, 3 weeks after. We were total U-Haul lesbians.
Yeah.
She moved in by July. And I had this big ass house, like a huge house all to myself, and it was bougie. Like it was super nice, and Micah just moved on in. And then I decided to sell it, and so we moved into an apartment, and it was like we kind of started new at our own place, and it's kind of like a basic apartment, but like we've made it our home, and like we've, like, it feels like I never, like, I mean, I know, like, I had told a couple people in my life that I loved them, like, romantically, but it all feels like I didn't now, because, like, the way that I feel about you is something I've never, like, felt for anybody. Like, I know, like, we're going to get married. I know we're going to grow old together. Like, I cannot live without you.
Oh, I know. I feel the same way, baby. I can't imagine. Like, I cannot live without you. Like, I can't. I would die. I would.
So even though our love story isn't perfect,
it's still a love story.
It's still a love story, and like
And
it got us
a
where
real
we are
story.
now. And Micah's theory is the fact that she wasn't like overly obsessed with me in the beginning made me like her more.
Yeah.
But I don't think so, because I was so over games by that point. Like I didn't want to play any games. That's the reason that we hit it off so quick, because you were like used to all these games, and I was like,
I was used to
I wouldn't play them anymore. I'm like 27 when we met. I was like 27 I was 28. And I had kids, and I was tired, and I'm like, fuck games. If you want to play games, get out, you know, and I wouldn't play them, and you didn't need somebody to play games anymore.
Yeah, I didn't want to play games, but I was just used to that, and so I didn't know how to like react to like somebody just being real and wanting to be with me, and had so many walls up, like
Oh, it's taken us so long.
many walls, and I had like this timeline of like things I had to like go through to like get really close to somebody again, because I was so guarded, and she knew that, and she would, you know, say things and like tell me how much she liked me, and I would kind of like, I wouldn't back up, but I would get my guard up because I was so scared to like let it like sink
I just
in.
said things naturally as I felt, but I still was really careful because I knew I didn't want to move things too fast. But Micah would say stuff like, "Are we moving too quick?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know, but it feels pretty natural. So let's just fucking throw all the labels out or the timing." And that was really hard for you, but when you did.
When I finally like fell and all my walls just fell, like I literally was just like head
She was
over
obsessed
heels
with
with
me.
Erin, because
She was obsessed with me
amazing.
all of a sudden. It was like overnight.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is though that I'm a cocky bitch, but I told Sean and Eric before me and Micah even hung out, and I couldn't like get her to hang out for some reason, and I know now it was because of that girl. Micah, I said to Eric and Sean, I'm like, you know what? All I've got to do is have one date, and I will make that bitch fall in love. I called you that bitch.
Oh my god.
And they laughed so hard. And it wasn't exactly like that, but it was close. Like,
Yeah, once I finally fell, I was like,
once you like let that girl out of
Obsessed.
your life, yeah, you became obsessed. And like, so the dynamic of our relationship is like, I tend to be a little less like jealous and stuff, but sometimes that can be hurtful because you want a little bit of jealousy because that means you care.
yeah, like a healthy amount, but don't want too much like toxic
No.
jealousy.
So she like the beginning parts of our relationship, that the only bumpy times were like you'd get a little bit jealous, I'd get a little bit, what would be the word?
She would get defensive whenever I was jealous, because she had been in a toxic relationship where a girl was like jealous and obsessed and like abusive to her. And I came from like being really hurt and cheated on and lied to, and so I was like acting out of like, you know, the
Fear.
out of fear, and acting on like the past stuff that I had, and she was acting on the past stuff that you had.
Yeah, it was
And
like
so
I don't
it was
want
like
that. I was just so afraid of like I knew we weren't toxic, but I just wanted to make sure like
yeah.
that. So we have like
But we figured it out, and then we realized, like, we were like, hey, let's stop bringing our past into our relationship.
yeah, because we
It's
did
really
nothing.
good.
Yeah.
And
We
let's
have
just,
no reason for that to be in
Yeah.
our relationship because it's like our relationship is like super healthy and we bro out and we talk about hot girls and we
act like sisters.
act like
sometimes,
sisters
act like
and-
best friends.
Yeah, we just like we don't like we get and like since we have like a big following on pretty big for on Instagram, of course we get like all kinds of messages and like
she gets hit on all the time.
yeah by femmes. It's crazy.
Yeah, more femmes hit on her than they do me.
I don't know, it's weird. I think maybe they don't hit on you because they know that I am your girlfriend and they're being respectful. All you bad bitches, I love you all. You bad bitches who are respectful, I fucking love you.
Yeah,
And
girls are way more respectful. All you femmes who's like up in her DMs, you're sluts, okay?
like stop.
You're sluts.
Stop.
I'm just saying, it's true.
She's
I'm
joking.
not jealous.
You're not sluts.
Yeah, no, they
No,
are.
you know what? You're
Nobody
all...
slides up into somebody's DMs that's in a relationship.
No,
It's
they're not
disrespect.
sluts. That's woman shaming. What they are is being
I'm a
little
woman.
bit, is being a little bit disrespectful. But like I love the messages that are like, "Oh my god, like you're like hyping me and Micah up." I even like messages that are just like being sweet. Like you get them too. We just
Oh,
have to
yeah.
be like really not jealous because when we get all those, like it was hard for us to adjust at first. Like we didn't have a following until we started dating. Like,
Yeah,
it
and
just
so
kind
when
of
it-
took off when we started dating because people like I guess like us together, which is so sweet. We appreciate y'all like in your support. Like it's made it.
It's made it so much easier to come from what we came from, you know, our backgrounds and everything, and to like come out and be very open about it because we've had so much support, you know, with our followers and everything. So
Yeah, it's made it easier to come out.
oh yeah.